Hi everyone, it's Kathleen. I am here today to share with you a journal that I have created, and I'm calling it a Traveler's Souvenir journal. It is made from two digitals from JunkJournalDavao. It is his journal pages and ephemera bundle from the Vintage Travel and Souvenir kit. The outside is made as a wrap. It has a coffee dyed vintage cotton closure. It's sewn, the signature is sewn right into the wrap. The wrap is faux leather and it's covered with Battenberg, a vintage hand embroidered doily, and on the inside it also has an embroidered piece of linen, probably a dinner napkin. And we have very large grommets on the front and the back to hold the ties closed. So let's have a look. These two printables of Dave's, the journal pages and the ephemera bundle, are massive. I still have extras that I have, pages that I have not used, as well as a whole bunch of cutout ephemera. So these pages, all of these fussy cut ephemera bits that I have here, they're just cutout paper, is going to be included in the Etsy listing. It is listed in my Etsy shop right now, and I'm only making one of them, and this is it. So I like that the printable had a passport, not a full passport, but a few passport pages, and I've incorporated it throughout the journal. Totally embellished, vintage lace trims, doilies, fabrics, to create different snippets. So it's hard to actually view it because it's so thick. Did I say it was 112 pages front and back? So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 112 pages, not counting the tags or the flips. So you open it up and you have the first page of the passport. I glued it onto the second page of the passport. Then there are various miscellaneous pages for different passports, I believe. So I've stuck this one in here. I have backed it with part of Dave's printable, and I've made a collage on the back. I like how there's collaged ephemera bits that I was able to fussy cut and glue on and collage. I love making these extend the pages. So there's two pieces of paper, then I hinge them. This is hinged with craft packing tape. I've made a page using Braille piano roll paper and the printable. Love these different vintage pieces that I have assembled together for a snippet, and that's an old metal button that I've sewn on. You turn the page and you have a top loading pocket. Love the Braille and the piano roll and the collage bits that's straddling the page from the front onto the next side. Part of a printable, and I folded the page over at the top, added a little bit of tape to keep the pocket closed, and this is a beautiful printable from Dave's collection. Various coffee dyed laces and trims to create the toppers with, and tuck that in there. To start off this Traveler's Souvenir journal, we have a map provided by Dave in the printable, attached to a vintage sheet music. I use vintage sheet music, vintage ledgers, and I'll identify them as I go. Each page is very elaborately embellished in this particular journal. Part of the passport printable, I have glued it onto a page, a journal page of Dave's, and I like this craft packing tape straddling the edge to add interest. Vintage ledger with part of the beautiful printable, different different images from the printables. The only thing of Dave's that I have not used, I have fussy cut. I believe it could be from chapter 1's, the vintage or miscellaneous labels that she has over there. But other than that, everything here is from the 2 kits of Dave, which is quite amazing because you get so much in the kits. I've used the packing tape as a little taped embellishment, more of the beautiful multi-layered of the snippets, different pieces. Turn the page, back of the ledger sheet, part of Dave's printables, and love this vintage crochet. I say crochet bit, but it's not. It's an embroidered piece here. This is the only bit I have left for myself. I've cut up everything and attached it. There's the bag. The main page is a craft paper bag, some ivory paper, and some of that hand embroidered piece, vintage piece, part of Dave's printable. Page is just folded over to make a flap. His printable is absolutely gorgeous. I have part of a vintage, an old UK road book for touring road book. Jeez, it's hard for me to even keep this book flat. I like one signatures because I like the nice bundle that it has. I have layered papers over, part of a large dictionary and the UK road book. This is part of Dave's printable, which is really cool. I just tore it out in this little coffee stain. Again, a little, maybe advertising, but I've added various craft papers, coffee dyed parchment papers, and layered it with fabrics and trims to make a little tag. There is journaling space. There's lots of flips in here. I have glued this printable of Dave's onto the back of the dictionary page, and I've made just a fun scrappy layered bit of different papers. For decoration, it's a tag. You can write on the backs of these papers. Vintage piece I got from an antique store. It's at Norris and Bell Farm Implements. So I've got love using those for tags. So you just tuck that in there. Part of Dave's printable. It's how you fold the pages. I've made a top loading. It's not even a tag. It's a piece of empty music staffs that's been coffee dyed, folded up for a secret journaling spot. I just love how the coffee dyeing turned out. And you just press the edge of the page towards the spine, and we are going to tuck it inside. So there's one on this side. I folded it over, sewed it with a sewing machine. Lots of sewing on the sewing machine. Handmade paper with the packing tape just for decoration. Collage bits I put together from the different cutout pieces from Dave's kit. This is a page from the kit. Just stunning. You don't have to do anything. I stitched all the way around it. Glued 2 pages back to back. I like to mine thicker. And double stitched all the way around. This is an amazing piece here. This piece, don't want to lose my place, is from Ruby and Pearl and or Rose Hill Cottage Crafts. And what she did, or what they have done, is they've taken a piece of paper, and it's how you fold it. You fold it into 3. Fold the paper into 3. This is one of Junk with Steph's scrappy neutrals. I like how it's folded into 3. You fold up the bottom. I stitched around. I like to stitch, so this one's single stitched all the way around. It's how you fold your paper. You make a little tag. This is from Dave's printables. Old book pages, coffee dyed, craft paper, and vintage seam binding. And I've made this as well with Dave's printables, and attach some sari silk at the top. And the way it's folded, you can just tuck your tag in the top and a secret journaling spot. So I have a paper clip that I have tied sari silk around, and it's on, I've attached it with a fun arrow large paper clip on the side, and you turn that over. I make my edges of my paper firmer with the craft packing tape, and it's because I'm attaching something very, very heavy on the side. And I have done multi-layered pages here. I've done just a heavier paper, a parchment paper that I have glued, collaged different things on. The 200-year-old book page, part of Dave's printables, and some parchment paper. Multi-layered snippet sewn on. And look at this printable. Just gorgeous. 2 pages glued together and folded. This is vintage sheet music, and Dave's printable includes some money, which I thought, well, not money, but digital print of some money, and it's awesome. And I love the design of it. I like the craft packing tape over the top for interest, and another beautiful journal page from the kit. Old book page. I've reinforced any thin old pages with masking tape, and I have glued some of Dave's journal pages. He has some plain ones that I tore a little piece for this end and another piece for the other end of the page, and I've straddled the paper money, and it's a little tuck reinforced with masking tape underneath. Beautiful printable. Inside it's journal page, and I have made a top loading pocket. Love these tags, how they came out. Love the tag toppers. There's coffee dyed eyelet and lace trims. Very old caramelized book page. Love that craft that has a little bit of a stripe on it. I got it from Jane from Australia when she sent me her baby outfits, I believe, in the bag, and I just love that striped craft. It's very hard to get here in Canada, and I love it. Sometimes you can get old vintage bags made out of it if I'm lucky enough. Look at that, part of the Dave's Digital. OMG, gorgeous. I had some coffee dyed doily stained paper, and I'm going to tuck this back. The pocket is folded down and folded up again. Stitched on the machine all the way around, as is the tag. Just love the images. And more coffee dyed parchment paper. Some of that beautiful vintage embroidery. And this paper is, it's noisy. I don't know what kind of paper it is, but it's awesome. Part of Dave's journal papers. Just look at these journaling papers. They are so cool. Multi-layered snippets, sewn and then glued. Beautiful journal page. This is vintage ledger sheet. Some of my tea-dyed lace paper. Some of the chapter 1 labels. I made a hinge from that craft paper. Some of Annalie's book pages, and a little tag that I made, layering some of the Your Creative Studio items in here. Snippet, Tim Holtz People, and my little craft and the piano roll paper little blurb I like to make. Back half of some printable of a check. And this is a cool thing. I had a bag, a craft parchment type bag, and I cut off the bottom, so I made a pocket for these 2 pieces. They're 2 different ladies. It looks like it could be a passport, and I've just lined it with coffee paper. This is a very old book pages. I don't ink, as you know. I just try to find caramelized book pages that are a different shade rather than white. And I folded this journaling card over, tucked it in the little pocket. I like the sound that it makes, and I just like the various crafts and ivories and cream. Here's a craft color paper bag that I have made a page out of, some ivory paper and some more dyed parchment paper. This might be Amity Bloom's paper. I have so much printables, I'm just using up what I have for my decorations. Some more labels that are digitals. This is from Dave's kit. And some more of that coffee dyed parchment paper. And lots of collaging, lots of crafts and ivories and neutrals. And then this is so they're all flowing. I love the irregular pages. And this is, well, you'll see the back half of this. It's a postcard. And it's printed so it's adjoining. The postcard with the words and where you address your postcard is on the other side of the signature. And I just printed it open so there's more journaling spot there. Put some more of that coffee dyed lace paper. Lots of space to write in and lots of embellishing. Lots and lots of embellishing. Dave's printables, some just layering, collaging with handmade paper, craft paper, labels. You turn it over and you have some more of those multi-layered of the snippets of the lace, the hardanger, and the embroidered piece. Handmade paper. Very old scrapbook paper. That used to be that ivory color. And to reinforce my page, I use that craft packing tape. And then these are little bits that Dave has in his kit. All of these little pieces here that I layered. And that's from the Chapter 1 labels kit that I like. From Dave's kit and some handmade paper. And this is a beautiful piece from Dave's kit. Folded the paper in the center. Added a little label. It's nighttime here and dark. It's handmade paper. I like the fibers that are sticking out to add interest, and it just feels so nice. 2-hole pamphlet stitch tied with twine, and 3-layered snippet sewn on. More of that handmade paper, another label, and this is the large center piece. This is one piece of paper, and this is a second piece of paper. So this outside paper folds open. You have all these pieces come in Dave's kit. Again, for reinforcement, I do the craft packing tape, some more images from Dave's kit, and then I showed you this beautiful, I don't even know what this piece is called, but it's a travel piece. Showed you that. And then we are going to flip over. So that's the center. And we have some more collaging from Dave's kit. And I love that it's neutrals. And then you can add your own splash of color. And some more of the handmade paper, Chapter 1 labels, some of Dave's digital papers. This is an awesome collection. It makes a beautiful vintage traveler's souvenir journal. Absolutely gorgeous. Some more of that coffee dyed paper. That's that back half of the postcard. Front of the postcard, back of the postcard. The inner portion for journaling. The ivory tea dyed paper. You see how this is just multi-layered like that? One sheet, then the big sheet. So we're back here. We have the craft paper that has the collaging from Dave's printables and some more of these tidbits, my little snippets, and my different layers of crafts collage. And here's that bag, that craft beautiful, lovely noisy bag with the old caramelized book page on it from Dave's printable. I backed it with coffee dyed paper, folded it irregularly so it would straddle inside that pocket, add visual interest on both sides of the page. And I have whenever we see a regular paper clip, I've attached some sari silk. And what do I have on here? This is a vintage ledger, some printables, 2 printables, and I have sewn this together. It is one of Dave's postcards, right here, one of Dave's postcards, and the back. So I have made it a straddle piece like this, and I've left it, I print on ivory paper, and I've attached some of that coffee dyed paper, and it's writing space, beautiful writing space, and back half of the ledger paper. And you see how it's all layered? It gives you visual interest, and a beautiful little paper clip with a sari trim holding it on. Some of Dave's beautiful papers, 2 of them glued back to back. And now this paper is almost feels like it has a wax coating. Don't know what it is. I just stumble upon paper at different places, and this is just, it's some off shops. So we have an irregular folded paper page, white page, and I have reinforced it with masking tape. We have the coffee dyed parchment paper and some of that beautiful embroidered piece, irregular shaped. I like how you get all these different bits and pieces sticking out the top. Part of Dave's printable. It's the back half of that page, and we have another tag with a different printable. Look at that. They make absolutely fantastic tags. So my tag is, what did I even start with? Oh, a piece of light cardstock that's coffee dyed. Then I cut out a little bit of the picture from Dave's printables, that book page, some of that craft paper bag, snippets, different layers of laces and hardanger, and this is coffee dyed paper, coffee dyed eyelet fabric, and some more trims. And the pages, the top of that pocket is folded down, stitched all the way around, and tucked in the back. Vintage book page, straddled with Dave's paper and some of the digital money, and it's folded over. We have another beautiful printable digital page and some of that parchment paper that's coffee dyed. I folded it inward to create a little flap, and love these different layers of whites, ecrus, and the embroidery. If you don't like it, whoever purchases this, if they don't like it flopping around, you can put some tacky, any kind of tacky glue will work. You can stick it on the back and it will stick. It will be on there. I wanted mine loose. Maybe it's a little bit too loose. Here is some of Dave's digital page printables, vintage sheet music, part of money that is collaged and folded back on itself. I like adding the craft packing tape just because I like the way it looks. And Dave's printable pages, 2 of them glued back to back. Some of my pages I found at a charity shop, snippets, and it's layered with the 200-year-old book page, parchment paper, and some of Dave's printables. This is a really cool little envelope. Another arrow paper clip. This is coffee dyed paper, and to reinforce the side, I have used the craft packing tape. Love this envelope. And you wrap it around like a figure 8. I just cut out a shape and glued it. I've attached 2 circles, 2 little eyelets, tied this is waxed string for the closure. This is one of Dave's printables. I've backed it with coffee dyed cardstock. for some journaling spot inside here, and multi-layered of pages, just different scrappy bits, and I hand stitched that on prior to me gluing it closed, and I close mine in a figure 8, close around these little circles, and then I just let that string stay down the back, and we are going to tuck that in there. Then we have some base printables. Some of the pages I've stitched all the way around, some of them I have not. This one is stitched. Love how the craft, the coffee stained, and Dave's printables all blend so beautifully together. And look at the digitals. They all just blend so nicely. What I like on the back of this page, again, we're getting to the back. It's kind of hard to hold. This is a frame. There's a picture frame. If you open it up, you might be able to see it a little bit better. That's a picture frame on the digital. And so what I did is I folded my page so it outlines the frame top and bottom. And I have sewn a picture from the digital, from the craft paper bag, and that coffee dyed cardstock, and just for some writing space. And I just like the layered looks, how it looks. Part of Dave's printable page and some of his little ephemera bits that you get, and I've collaged all that together, straddled some of that craft packing tape, made a beautiful snippet from the hard anchor, the old lace, and the embroidery piece. Here's another little framed piece, and that's the back half of that little pocket. It's the same piece of paper, that coffee dyed piece that is, you just fold it up for some additional writing space. And I just like how it's able to, I have to press the edge to find the opening. Very long, narrow tag. And I leave the top sticking out, and love this. This is a beautiful tag. Love this tag. Again, I was watching either Ruby and Pearl or Rose Hill Cottage, and they were creating these tags, similar type tags. Just love that. They use, I don't know what they used. I made mine with a book page. I think hers was made with a book page too. I've stuck part of that craft paper bag in there, part of a digital on here, long lace and lace snippet, and some sheet music on the top. Just love how that turned out. This is part of Dave's printable. I have folded it up to make a little tuck pocket in the bottom. Love how that decorates the page. And the back half of this is a large dictionary page with the printable and the tag in the pocket, and at the back it's collaging with different layers from the Sussex road map, road index, I guess it is, and different layers of papers. Part of Dave's beautiful printable. Love the yellows. And I created a collage from Dave's little fussy cut ephemera pack, and this is a nice little bit here. I have used a paper clip, and I just made a little, what do you call it? Is it a tag? Is it a journaling card? Who only knows? It's just bits of paper put together from Dave's printables, old book pages, craft, paper bag, and some more snippets. Used a paper clip to attach it. Maybe let's bring it up higher so it sticks out the top. And some of the printable glued onto the vintage ledger, little craft tape, packing tape, part of Dave's printable here. Love this page, just gorgeous. Part of a printable I glued on the flap. I made a collage in the center with packing tape and Dave's printables. Turn the flap down. Vintage sheet music, different layers of handmade papers, parchment papers that are coffee dyed, part of my postcards that I tore off, and I have bits Do I throw them out? Oh, of course not. I'm going to be using them as embellishments. So you save these little tidbits. And yes, they do have a rusty staple in there. And yes, I'm going to sew it on there. So they don't go in the garbage. They get added onto a snippet. Back half of the piano paper, back half of that map. And are we coming to the back? Probably. And I've made that library pockets and my craft bee wrapping paper. Love this library card. Some more of that snippet, fun snippet stuff. Some of Dave's ephemera bits on the back. My paintable wallpaper, which I absolutely love. And this is Dave's printable, Dave's little collage bits. Back of his printable, that's the passport. 2 passports glued back to back. And the back half of the wrap. So there we have this beautiful traveler souvenir journal, and it's in my Etsy shop as we speak. If it's not there, then it must have sold. And thank you everyone for watching, and this is a fantastic digital kit. You get lots of pages and lots of ephemera bits, and I just love how this turned out. Very, very, it's probably about 3 inches thick, maybe, I don't know, 5.5 or 6 inches by maybe 9 inches. Love how it fits in my hand. I love how the little things and stuff stick out. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.